Ah, yes. Finally getting a DENDRO preview. Okay.
草元素是原神7元素体系中的最后一块拼图，我们打算用一些更成体系的方式去设计它。在3.0版本，我们从一开始便邀请了所有的策划、美术和 IP 部门的同学一起讨论，希望大家可以设计出一个耦合程度更高、理解门槛更低，并且相互之间关联更加紧密的体系。草元素的设计之中，存在着3个关键词。
Hold up.
紧密的体系。草元素的
There are 3 keywords. Okay.
设计之中，存在着3个关键词，是催化、智慧以及生命。
Catalysis, wisdom, life. What the heck is catalysis? Never heard of this before. The acceleration of a chemical reaction by catalyst. Interesting. Very interesting.
这3个概念主要体现在元素反应、关卡设计以及场景机制当中，它们之间也有非常紧密的彼此联系。原神的元素反应，一方面是不同的元素设计语言之间的组合，那另一方面，它也是基于日常现象的艺术再加工。举例来说，在原神当中，我们玩家已经见到过的改变现象，它其实是一个符合玩家认知的日常现象，但同时，它也是水元素的恢复和雷元素的能量概念结合的产物。
Recovery aspect of the hydro element and energy aspect of the electro element. So they already have.
游戏当中，它也是一个能稳定的散逸能量的现象。
They already have
基于
keywords
类
in
似的设计
place.
理念，我们在3.0版本又推出了2个新的反应：绽放和激化。
Bloom and
绽放的
catalyze.
灵感是来源于现实生活中花朵的绽放现象，那它同时也是水元素的恢复和草
I
元
mean,
素的
makes
催化
sense.
2种
You
概念
form
的
a
结
little
合。
dendro crystal
而
thing.
激化反应呢，它则是一个完全原创的效果，它来源于雷元素的能量以及草元素的另一个关键词智慧的碰撞。激化反应相关的现象呢，也和须弥当地的历史有着非常
Wait,
深
so
的
what
渊
is
源。
this? Something going on there, similar to like an electrocharge effect, but specifically with dendro and
绽放和激化3种反应特征，我们定义了一种
Weird.
名为多态转换的设计理念。一部分具有草元素特征的目标，通过使用水、火、雷等元素与之交互，可以让它们在不同的状态之间发生转换，从而产生不同的互动效果。在怪物的生态性上，我们也做了类似的尝试。根据自身所处的环境和受到的元素效果不同，怪物会在不同的状态间来回转换。除了攻击方式
you
会
could
发生变
change
化
the
以外，
state of
在特
enemies
定的状
by
态下击败它们，还能
if
获得
they're
卡片的
dendro
特
by
殊材料。
specifically affecting them with different elements.
更多草元素
I
相
don't know
关
what
的
that does
玩
for the
法，
current
届时
dendro
就需要
slimes
玩
in
家
the
亲
game.
自去体验一番了。
希望草元素玩法的加入可以给玩家带来新奇而又有趣的体验。
Apologies. I'm sick. I have post AX sickness. Anyways, the main takeaway for me was
这3个概念
definitely
主要体现紧密的体系。草元素
definitely this part, keywords. Right? That was definitely the main takeaway because of this. It's a little different. I think it was somewhere like around here.
You're going to see a massive revamp to the Void subclass systems across all 3 classes.
Right.
This is a huge update and will allow players to build craft in ways that they've never done before.
One of the things we wanted to do is create a core set of verbs.
草元素的设计之中，存在着3个关键词。
like we did with stasis.
Anyone
Yeah,
can run suppressors
keywords.
now. I think
Core
that's a pretty
keywords.
cool
Or
thing.
verbs.
I'm going to be running suppressor
Yeah.
today.
Or action.
The Void 3.0 update is really setting the stage for how we're thinking about updating subclasses for the rest of the year.
We're going to
Creates
extend this
total
philosophy
different
to solar and
reactions
arc.
between so
Solar
many different
obviously
things
is going to be about burning,
game.
but there's this other component
See.
to solar, and that's healing.
Mhm.
Arc is all about chaining. It's all about lightning, direct attacks, quickness. We're going to take the fantasies that you know and love today. We're going to embellish them. So what you'll see is like all of the new abilities, all the new actions you take, reinforce that to the core. Pretty excited about it.
And it's so interesting, right? Because you have the whole Genshin thing completely. They're outright stating that these elements have different, you know, keywords behind them, different verbs, different aspects that of which they embrace, right? They talked about solar being restoration, right? We take a look at, you know, at state. So we go with void, which was the previous patches, right? And you have stuff like invisibility. If I can find stuff, invisibility, devour, overshield, right? Getting protective light, getting that healing back, right? And then you have the debuffs of weaken, suppression involved, how increasing your damage, causing debuffs to the enemy. You'll get solar, just causing scorch, causing ignitions to go off. You have someone that does, you have radiance, right? You have restoration, you have cure, all about healing and boosting damage, right? They talked about arc, you know, chaining and electrifying. And then there's stasis as well, which you have your slow and your freeze. You have your shatter up here, right? You have your stasis crystals. You get stasis shards as well, if I can find it. So it's like they're leaning more into this aspect of this RPG design of having to have these keywords behind these in-game power fantasies, and they're leaning into that we know officially they're leaning into that more with DENDRO, with these three keywords: catalysis, wisdom, and life, causing different reactions. We know that pyro with DENDRO causes a burning effect. We know with hydro with DENDRO causes this blooming effect, which I'm assuming based on this it might create some sort of recovery crystal on the ground, causes a little bit of a health regen, and maybe give some sort of possible regenerative shield that lasts for a short period of time, which would be pretty cool. We see this interaction between DENDRO and Electro causing this, what we now know as the catalyzed reaction, but it looks like some sort of DENDRO version of the Electro charge reaction, which is very interesting, but who knows, it could possibly be different. Anyways, all this looks fairly interesting, and it makes me hopeful, because if they're leaning more into this stuff, we might get them to possibly rework a little bit some of the other reactions in the game, some of the other elements in the game, lean more into these power fantasies behind these elements, and enhance different reactions to synergize better together and cause creations of new types of power fantasies that are enticing for players. Like, do you want to blow stuff up, right? You have your Electro and Pyro for the overload reaction, but what if they do that in a different way? Or the Electro charge reaction isn't just this chaining effect like Arc and Destiny. It isn't just this chaining effect between enemies that are affected by Hydro. What if it causes an increased scaling of damage, that as you deal more Electro, it's chaining more and more and more and more and more? What if they do something like that? It'd be pretty cool. And it just based off this trailer alone, right? It makes me hopeful for at least the gameplay wise, the future of Genshin, that they're really taking care to look closer into the way the game's mechanics works, and hopefully it's for the betterment of the game. You know, DENDRO is the final piece of the puzzle, and we can only hope that it'll all work out better in the end for the betterment of the game. Anyways, I'm gonna go rest now because I'm still sick. So bye bye. Looking forward to this.